As you walk along Orchard Road, you could easily miss this building. This building looks like any other building around this area here, but when night comes, this place has an infamous reputation. And along Orchard Road, this place is called Orchard Towers. Yes, Orchard Towers. This place has an infamous reputation. If you search online, you will know why. Even now, daytime, if you go in there when all the pubs and discos are not open, you will find out the reason why too. In the past, when it first opened up, it was supposed to be just another shopping center along this road. But later, the discos and pubs opened up. Like all busy nightlife locations, especially when you mix alcohol with women, you have a lot of incidents of fights, maybe stabbings, a bit of crime, and of course, murders. Yep. And at this location is one of the locations that a murder happened, a sensationalized murder that gripped the nation when it happened. All the tabloids, all the newspapers were reporting on it, but nowadays it is mostly forgotten. But this location here played a role in that murder. So, what happened? I guess I could tell you. Yes, I will, since this video is about that. Okay, so as you are walking along this place, first of all, the name of this location is called Orchard Towers. Towers with an S, because there are actually two different buildings. And the back building, the one that's furthest away from Orchard Road, you can see there's actually a car park there. And in this car park, as you travel back in time to 2002, something happened. So what happened was, people who were using the car park started to notice a foul smell coming from the area on the 7th floor, the car park area. So people went to investigate, and they found a abandoned car there. A silver colored Daewoo Chairman 400 was abandoned on the 7th floor. As you can see the car park there, right up there. So they went to the car, they opened up the car, and they found a grisly find, a shocking discovery. What they found in the back seat, a weaker chest, and inside a body of a man, and in the booth another body, and this time of a woman. And this happened on the 7th of January 2002. So what happened? Why did they find a body there? Well, we later found out that the murder of these two people was not committed at Orchard Tower, but Orchard Tower was used as a location to dump the body. The murder was actually committed at another location. The location we are at now is called Balmoral Park. It's a posh area with condominiums, expensive residences along this area here. And among one of these places, one of these apartments, is where what happened, what we call the Orchard Tower double murder happened. Yes, in one of these apartments in somewhere along Balmoral Park. In one of these condominium apartments somewhere along this area, in an apartment something like this, in this area is where on the 2nd of January 2002, it all happened. Yes, it all happened here. So, these are the facts from the Orchard Tower double murder. So, in 2002, a British financial advisor was working in Singapore. He hired a driver named Mr. Koo, and their girlfriends were living in an apartment along Balmoral Park. And the situation between the murderer and the driver, Mr. Koo, seemed to be very friendly until an incident. What happened was, on the 2nd of January 2002, the murderer was made known that Mr. Koo, the driver, made a derogatory remark in Mandarin to his girlfriend, which is his accomplice. And this angered him. And the murderer, the British financial advisor, retaliated by pushing and punching Mr. Koo. And Mr. Koo fought back. But eventually he was overpowered and strangled by the British financial advisor. As he lay lifeless on the floor, his girlfriend, Miss Lan, tried to run away, but she was knocked out. The murderer held back Miss Lan because he wanted to find any money that was hidden in the apartment by Mr. Koo. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to provide any information about that. So at this time, Miss Lan was still alive. Then, on the 3rd of January 2002, the accomplice, which is the murderer's girlfriend, came back to the apartment and found that Miss Lan was motionless on the floor. The murderer advised her that Miss Lan has died. And as they were placing plastic bags around Miss Lan's head before transporting her body, she moved and appeared to be in convulsion. The murderer then managed to suppress her until she stopped moving. An autopsy later showed that she died due to suffocation. So later, on the 4th of January at 4 a.m., the two bodies were deposited in the car, and they looked for a location to dispose of the body. They were driving all around Singapore, from Jurong to Tuas, even to Punggol. But when they reached Punggol, it was starting to get bright and there were people around the jetty, so they were not able to dispose of the body. And finally, after 10 a.m., they settled on the top 7th floor of the Orchard Tower car park. They parked the car there and then took a taxi back to the apartment. Their plans was to dissolve the body with acid. But unfortunately, they were not able to get enough acid to do it, so they just left the body there. The next day, on the 5th of January, the murderer booked 2 air tickets and left for London with his girlfriend. Then from there, they later went to Melbourne, Australia. And after that, on the 7th of January, you know what happened. The bodies were discovered. They were on the run for 6 months. Then, in June 2002, they were captured in Melbourne, Australia. His girlfriend, the accomplice, was deported first to Singapore in 2003, where she faced charges of concealing of evidence. She was sentenced on the 7th of February 2003 to 12 years in jail for her part in disposing of the bodies of the murder victims. the murderer fought his extradition to Singapore from Australia, and after a 3-year battle, which ended in 28th of September 2005, the reason that he was deported back to Singapore to face trial was because Singapore agreed that he would not receive a death penalty for the murder. He pled guilty during the trial to 2 charges of culpable homicide and 1 charge of concealing evidence of the killing. He was sentenced to 24 years in jail on the 29th of June 2006. So this is actually based on the maximum sentence of 10 years jail for the murder of Mr. Khoo and his girlfriend, respectively, as well as an additional 4 years for the disposal of the evidence. He tried to appeal his case, but the Singapore Court of Appeal rejected his appeal because he was not remorseful for his crime. And that were the facts of the Orchard Tower double murders. Yes, this is one of the dark, dirty little secrets of Orchard Road. This grisly crime where Orchard Towers were a witness to this murder, this crime, where they actually deposited the bodies here, this tower 2 at Orchard Towers. Yes, a dirty, dark little secret that nobody remembers anymore. But during that time, it was big news, plastered on all the tabloids and all the newspapers. And so, this brings us to the end, or our first dark little secret that I'm going to tell you about Orchard Road. If you want to know more videos are coming up in the upcoming weeks. So please do look out for it if you want to know more about the dark little secrets of Orchard Road. But before we go, like, share and subscribe as per usual. Also support me on Patreon or even PayPal. And if you have time, watch some of my old videos. And lastly, but the most important thing, the thing that you have to do is to join me for my next adventure. I will see you guys around, and girls too. Bye bye.